Hi, my name is Katie and I am the driver of the session. In class, we learned chapter 16, which is Choose Your Own Story. It's about a theory game that I will be explaining the code, and over here we can see the main topics in this chapter is if, else, or switch statements that I will be explaining in depth. So let me just explain the code and I will display the game on the web. Okay, so from line 1 to line 20, the code defines a function continue story that takes an argument answer number. This function uses a switch statement to handle different cases based on the value of answer number. Each case block within the switch statement updates the content of an HTML element based on specific conditions using if-else statements. Okay, so now I will be explaining the switch statements. So over here we've got case 0, and in case 0, this block handles the scenario when answer number is 0. It checks the value of answer 0 using if-else statements and updates the inner HTML of the story element accordingly. If the value doesn't match any condition, it displays an error message and calls the ask question function. And then we've got case 1. In case 1, this block handles the scenario when answer number is 1. It checks the value of answers 1 and updates the inner HTML of the story element accordingly. If the value does not match any condition, it displays an error message and calls the ask question function. And then we've got case 2. So in case 2, this block handles the scenario with answer number is 2. It checks the value of answers 2 and updates the inner HTML of the story element accordingly. If the value doesn't match any condition, it displays an error message and calls the ask question function. Moving on, we've got our if and else statement that I will be explaining now. So here we've got case 0, and our if statement is answer 0 is yes. This updates the story inner HTML with content from answer 0, and then our else if statement is answer 0 is no. This updates the story inner HTML with content from the answer 2. And then we've got our else statement. This updates the story inner HTML with the content from error 0 and calls ask question. Moving on, we've got our case 1. And our case 1 for our if statement is answer 1 is go to mass. This updates the story in HTML with content from answer 11 and calls ask question. Our if else statement is answer 1 is stay home. Updates the story in HTML with content from answer 12 and calls the end. And then we've got our else statement. This updates the story in HTML with content from error 1 and calls ask question. And then we've got case 2. So our if else statement is answer 2 is risk it, updates the story from the inner HTML content from answer 21 and calls the end. And then our if else statement is answer 2 is go home, updates the story in HTML with the content from answer 22 and calls the end. And then our else statement updates the story in the HTML content from error 2 and calls the ask question. And this is what the code basically is all about. So I'm going to display the game on the web and I'm going to show you how it runs. So yeah, over here it's asking us a question, are you ready to play? I'm going to type in yes. You are the captain of a spaceship named the Flying Hippo. One day you're working on turning up your ship's engine when you get an urgent message on your space phone. Captain, one of our Mars robots is sick. We need you to go to Mars immediately and retrieve it so that we can fix it and download the results of its important experiments. You remember that you're supposed to go to a meeting on the Space Scouts tonight, and you were really looking forward to it. But on the other hand, the Other space scouts would understand that this mission is very important. What do you do? Go to Mars or stay home? I'm going to type in go to Mars. Great choice. Mars is lovely this time of year or during the time of the year when you arrive. About 260 days from now, you pick up your things and prepare enough food for the journey, then take off. Launch goes smoothly and you sit back, put on your headphones and prepare for a relaxing trip. A week later, things are going great. There's nothing for you to do except read, listen to music, and watch movies. Just then you hear a strange sound near. It sounds like Gizmo, your cat. She must have snuck abroad while you were packing. You were happy to have company, but you didn't pack enough food for the both of you. And there certainly isn't a grocery store on the way to Mars. You don't have a you have a choice. Risk running out of food on the return trip or turn around now and go home. What will you do? And I'm going to type in risk it. You decided to risk it. The journey is long and you give sweet Gizmo half your food knowing that you may not survive the return trip, but the flying hippo can carry the robot home without you in. At least the important experimental data and Gizmo, of course, will be safe. When you arrive at Mars, you quickly locate the sick robot, but you also discover something else, a large ice chest full of delicious sandwiches. The last repair crew to visit the robot must have left us here. You unwrap one of the sandwiches and carefully take a bite. Peanut butter, your favorite, Gizmo's favorite too. You pick up the sandwiches in the sick robot and begin the trip home, knowing that there is now more than enough food for the both of you and Gizmo at the end. And that is the game. And that is it for chapter 16. Thank you.